we've had a strategy in place, and we'll try and keep to it, which is to carve out really protected time for the kids. So on a Friday, I've been doing this for years, I will not do a work-related thing after 6 o'clock. Pretty well come what
Regardless.
may. Yeah. Now, there are few exceptions, but that's what we do.
Virgin Radio.
All the polls say, I can say this, I'm allowed to say it's all the polls say that, you are probably going to win, probably by a huge majority. You may not win at all, of course, still. However, if you are looking at the stats, and they're pretty nailed on, but of course there's no safe bet in politics or as in life. Are you making plans now? Is Vic making plans to move house? How does that work?
Well, the first thing is, Thursday is the voting day, and we've got to earn every vote until 10 o'clock on Thursday. And, polls don't predict the future. And across the country, hundreds of constituencies where it'll come down to the wire, and change only happens if you vote for it. And that is very important. So anybody who doesn't go out and positively vote Labour on Thursday could wake up on Friday morning with 5 more years of what we got. And that is a pretty sobering thought.
But of course they can vote anyway.
We are trying to get the balance right and answer your question about not getting ahead of ourselves, but also planning for the future. And
so will you be a family that moves in?
We will, if we get over the line, move in. I mean, we've got 2 young kids. So our boy's just 16, as I say. Our girl's 13 and a half. That is actually the hardest bit of all of this, because they're at ages that are quite impacted by these. Yeah. If they were under 5, I don't think it would have much an effect on them. If they were 20 years old, they'd probably have enough of their own lives.
Yeah.
It's very impactful. We don't name them in public. We don't do photo shoots because we want to protect them. But that is hard.
And they've also got their opinions now more than ever because they're teenagers.
Certainly do.
Really interesting.
So they keep me very, very grounded.
Good. And you've already alluded to the fact that Vic, your wife, has a touch of the Michelle Obamas about it. The reluctant, this is not good for one's sanity. It's not good for the family unit. You have said that, time doesn't do refunds and you want to be there first and foremost as father. This is the wrong job for that. So where's the strategy there?
Well, we've had a strategy in place, and we'll try and keep to it, which is to carve out really protected time for the kids. So on a Friday, I've been doing this for years, I will not do a work-related thing after 6 o'clock. Pretty well come what
Regardless.
may. Yeah. Now, there are few exceptions, but that's what we do. My son goes kickboxing, so I often take him there. And my daughter goes swimming and cheerleading now. I've been to see her in cheerleading competitions.
So you're going to ring fence that time?
So we're going to and I want to. One, because I'm a dad and I love them. They're my pride and joy, and I don't want to lose that time. 2, I don't believe in the theory that you're a better decision maker if you don't allow yourself the space to be a dad and to have fun for your kids. Actually, it helps me. It takes me away from the pressure. It relaxes me. And I think actually, not only is it what I want to do as a dad, it is better. This politics, some people think if you fill your diary 24/7 and don't do anything else, that makes you a much better decision maker. Yeah. I don't agree with that. Yeah. I think you've got to make space.
Got it.
So we do it. Now, it's going to be hard, but we will, and I'll try and get to the Arsenal as well.
Here's the thing.
As possible.
Depending on what happens on Thursday, you might be more or likely to be in a better place to get a ticket to go and watch England-Switzerland on Saturday. Would you go if you had to represent the nation?
If I could go, I would, but I'm not going to. If we get over,
is that on the cards?
No,
has that been talked about?
We are not planning beyond Thursday.
Come on,
but
you must be.
But
if becoming Prime Minister means you can blag a last-minute ticket for England and Switzerland, being a massive football fan.
I think Saturday might be a bit tricky, but it will be.
Is there a chance you could be at that game?
I don't think there realistically is, but let's see.
Right.
They're going to go further than that. I think they'll beat Switzerland.
Switzerland are a good team.
I know.
Seriously,
they are. I know.
He's been saying this the whole week.
Yeah, well,
you've got to be careful. Switzerland are great, man.
Yeah, they were all right, but
they thrashed Italy on Saturday.
They really did. I mean, that was an incredible. We had
demolition. It was a demolition time.
Yeah, it was incredible to see that. We'd just had Elton John come out in support of Labour, and then we were absolutely smiling at that. It was a fantastic, thrilling moment. And then looked up at the screen and saw that Italy had just lost that game 2-0, which I couldn't believe.
Now, your mum and dad were quite Well, they were Labour supporters through and through. Your dad especially. Your dad was a toolmaker. They called you Keir after the founder of the Labour Party, but beyond that, weren't that active.
No.
But you were, and you joined the Labour Party when you were 16. Now you've talked about that before, but I've never heard you say why you joined the Labour Party. Obviously because you want to support Labour, but what happened? What drove you to that? What moved you to signing up? Because it wasn't your dad or your mum, and it wasn't people around you.
No, it was what I felt, and to some extent.
What does that mean?
Well, my dad worked in a factory, and he felt very disrespected working in a factory because he felt that as soon as he said to anyone, "I work in a factory," they looked down on him. Now, whether he was right or wrong, he felt it really strongly, and it actually forced him to withdraw. He hated going for social events, etc., and he stopped doing it. My mum was very, very ill, very dependent on the NHS, so I had this strong sense of respect at work in a sort of factory environment. I'd never been to a workplace other than a factory till I left to go to university. Very strong grounding there. And then my mum sort of so reliant on the NHS. So Labour seemed the obvious sort of values-based party that I wanted to be part of.
But you chose to join up.
I chose to join the East Surrey Young Socialists.
When was that? What happened? What was the day thing? I'm going to join. I'm going to do something about this.
It was as soon as I could, as soon as I hit the threshold. I have to admit, there were only, I think, 4 of us in the East Surrey Young Socialists. So the moment you join, you become a post holder. I think I was secretary within a week because it was a very, very small but perfectly formed group of people.
So from there, law student, university degree, lawyer, DPP. I'm very obviously we don't have much time, and then you decide after a very successful legal career to become an MP, or try to become an MP at the age of 52.
Yes.
All right, and you suspect that your wife thought that wasn't such a great idea, but nowhere near as bad an idea as trying to become Labour leader in 2019. And you say that you think she probably would have preferred you not to do that, although because she loves you, she wouldn't stop you from doing it. Just speak to that a bit.
Yeah, so Vic, when I finished as a lawyer, this was 2014, I came out of being the chief prosecutor, done that for 5 years, running criminal prosecutions across England and Wales with 7,000 staff. So I come out of that big job, and I had in my mind that if we're really going to change things for the better, I needed to step into politics. Vic, my wife, was sort of looking at adverts for other lawyer jobs, which are a bit more secure and better paid and not the hassle and exposure that you get from politics. Now, she, we didn't fall out about it, but she clearly at that stage would have preferred that I'd stayed out of this because, politics is great on so many levels, but there's a lot of aspects to it that are pretty unattractive. So she was really being, I think, probably protective of me, of the family. But look, at that stage, neither she or I knew where this was going to land. I was hoping that we'd win in 2015. And that at some stage I might become, I don't know, Attorney General. I didn't have aspiration at that stage to be Labour leader.
Virgin Radio.